Hi guys, I think it's been about 6 months since I made a video showing you my newest acquisitions to my library. So I have been buying books every once in a while, just not nearly as regularly as I used to. So I wanted to show you the dozen, maybe 14 books that I've bought in the last few months. I'm glad it's slowed down since my library is more to be read than read. This is mostly a collection of books that I bought at a book fair about 3 weeks ago, and a few books from half-price books thrown in. The first one is Opus Pastorum by Henry Miller. Henry Miller, of course, the author of The Tropic of Capricorn and The Tropic of Cancer. I just saw Henry Miller's name, and I've only read one other book by him, which I have posted a review of. It's called The Colossus of Marusi, which is a travel book about his travels through Greece. It's really wonderful. So I saw this and know his reputation in the literary world and wanted to get it. This one doesn't have much of a cover, but hopefully you can see it's Voss by Patrick White, who is the only Australian-born writer to win a Nobel Prize in Literature, as far as I know. Jan Coetzee doesn't count because he moved to Australia. He's born in South Africa. I have The Vivisector, also by him, which I have not read, but I've seen interviews with White before, and he just seems like such a fascinating, dry, ribald type of character that I think for 50 cents or $1 I wanted to get. There's a volume of Eugene O'Neill's plays. There are 3 plays. There's Anna Christie, The Emperor Jones, and The Hairy Ape. I think they're early plays too. Alright. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So, yeah, this was from Half Price Books. This is the only poetry that I have of Derek Walcott, another Nobel Prize winner. It's Omeros, which is this is one poem. It's not a book of essays, or it's not a novel. It's one poem, Ice Making Machine. It's one poem. It's, I guess, what you would call an epic poem. It's sort of inspired by Homer, the sort of Iliad and Odyssey thing going on. And I think it has overtones of that in the actual poem too, other than just its length. On the same day I got this, Sir Philip Sidney's The Countess of Pembroke's Arcadia, which is supposed to be one of the great classics of late 16th century English poetry. And then there is this, another one that doesn't have too impressive of a cover, even though it's kind of pretty. This is Lampedusa's The Leopard. I love these hardback, pretty copies. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I know it's a classic that I do need to read. It's about the downfall of the Sicilian aristocracy, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of the 19th century. Visconti made a movie out of it, too. Alright, so most people know Richard Wright for Native Son, which I have, but this is Black Boy, which I found for 50 cents in wonderful condition. Also, I've never read anything by Leslie Marmon Silko either, and I thought I might start here. This is The Almanac of the Dead, a novel. It's quite sizable at 750 pages, but I thought it was not a bad place to start. It looks fairly readable. And I know she's one of those contemporary writers that gets a lot of critical attention. So, speaking of contemporary writers that get a lot of critical attention, Don DeLillo, Cosmopolis. And another one. I've read probably half a dozen Philip Roth novels, some of which have been more successful than others, but I've never read Operation Shylock, which sounded very, very interesting and is in a wonderful hardback, so I got that. Since I've been gone for so long, I don't like to make excuses for myself, but I've been gone for a while, hence the book pile that I've bought and haven't showed you has sort of gotten a little big, but also the books that I've read and haven't posted reviews of have gotten big too. A few weeks ago I finished this book by Wole Soyinka, the Nigerian writer, who wrote this book called Ake, The Years of Childhood, which is about his years growing up in Nigeria from about his birth to the time he's 11 or 12. And when I was wandering around at Half Price Books the other day in Austin, I found this, which I think is more about his father and maybe about the later part of his childhood. It's still set in colonial Nigeria, but it's called Isara. And I apologize for the price tag being on there, but it's by Wole Soyinka, the Nobel Prize winner. I need to take the price tags off my books before I show them to you. This is, I think he's sadly underread, but just a fascinating writer. If you ever get the chance to read anything by him, his name is Alistair Gray, and this is called Lanark. It's a novel in 4 parts, quite lengthy, but it's set in, I forgot, Glasgow and Unthank. A Vision of Hell. I just recognize his name. I know nothing about the novel, but I know Alistair Gray's name, and I've read a couple of things by him and was interested to read more. So, this is a book by, again, sorry for the price tag, this is a book by a teacher of a teacher. When I went to school, I was taught by a student of this man, Robert Nozick, who was at Harvard for a long time and wrote Anarchy, State, Utopia, maybe one of the better recognized works of political philosophy the last half of the 20th century. And my professor even took the day off when Robert Nozick passed away to go to his, not that day, but to attend his funeral. And this is a book of very short essays called The Examined Life. It has essays on selflessness, being more real, focus, happiness, emotions, love's bond, sexuality, the holiness of everyday life. It sounds like it might be sort of an introduction for someone who doesn't really have much formal knowledge of philosophy, but is interested in starting to think about philosophy, which isn't really me, since I took many classes in it and have sort of a somewhat formal knowledge of it. But there are essays in here that look very interesting and that are thought-provoking, so I picked it up. And last but not least is, I don't know why I buy some of the things that I do. This is J.B. Priestley, his book called Literature and Western Man. And it goes I mean, it starts at well, there's a very short introductory chapter on the Italian scene and Machiavelli, and it goes through post World War One. So I'm not even sure if I'd be able to find this on Goodreads or anything. It's probably out of print. Haven't checked, but it looked interesting, and for $1, you know me and abstemiousness, it never works. So if you know any of these books or have anything to say about any of them, let me know in the comments section, and I promise to post those reviews, including the Ake Years of Childhood by Wole Soyinka, as soon as I can. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.